All right. Okay, so I'm super excited to share this with you guys because I think it's really important. I don't know entirely what sets me apart in this business, other than I think that I stand out on social media in that I'm not really like I don't. My main thing is I'm not a Beachbody coach. I sell me more than I sell anything about Beachbody, and I kind of think that is why I have the success that I have and why I put up the numbers that I have and stuff like that. So I want to share how you build a brand instead of just a business, and avoid the walking billboard syndrome, because I think it's pretty common in the beginning to, once you become a Beachbody coach, and not even just in the beginning, I think it's pretty common once you become a Beachbody coach that you become a walking billboard for Beachbody. And it's just, now that there are so many coaches and there are so many network marketing companies out there, it just becomes a little bit of white noise, and unless you separate yourself from the pack. And how do you set yourself apart? So let's talk about the difference between a business and a brand. A business is an organization that markets a product, service, or opportunity. A brand is the image and personality behind that business offer. It is the beating heart behind the screen. So my business, our business, is that we are Beachbody coaches, right? But my brand is that I am a champagne drinking, F-bomb dropping, beauty product loving, crude sense of humor spewing, self-love encouraging wife, mom, and dog mom. So Beachbody pays my bills. Beachbody, puts the roof over my head and food on my table, but it is not who I am. Who I am is all those other things that make up Ashley Molstead. It's not just what pays my bills. And so I want you to think about the fact when people are looking at your social media, it is not about what you're selling. It's about the fact that you are selling it. Uh-oh. My hair appointment's trying to remind me. So it's not about what you're selling. It's about the fact that you are the one selling it. So this is a snapshot on my social media. And in here, yes, you will see my fitness. Yes, you'll see me posting, my shake or any other, obviously you see a lot of Energize, and you'll see product stuff, but fitness is just one part of my life, and it's not even the main part, I wouldn't say. And so what are the other things that make Ashley Ashley? What are the other things that I like to do? And I know that this can be a little bit tricky in the beginning. You're like, I don't feel interesting at all. Like, I don't do anything. So think about, who do you follow on social media? What kind of things do you search on Pinterest? If you have a week free or a weekend or an evening free, where do you want to spend your time? And as I was thinking about this, what do I enjoy? So on Pinterest, I look up a lot of I'm not super into fashion, but I do look up, I could get lost for hours watching beauty tutorials on YouTube. Hair how-tos, makeup how-tos. I can't tell you how many times I've watched a smoky eye video. Still, almost all the makeup I wear, I found by watching some YouTube thing about it. So that became a part of it, like beauty and not so much fashion, but like beauty products and makeup and stuff like that. That became a part of it. What else do I do? Well, I love to spend time with my dog. Now I'm a mom. So obviously Rev is a big part of my brand now too. But before I was a mom, I was all about dogs. Dogs became a big part of my brand. I would think about what did John and I want to do on the weekends? If we have a weekend or an evening free, what are we doing? Generally, maybe you're a big movie person, so movies should be a part of your brand. Generally, John and I, if we have time free, we're out eating and drinking somewhere. And I felt so silly. I remember in the beginning thinking this is crazy that I am a health and fitness coach who's my hobby involves drinking. It just didn't make sense, but I'm no, but that's okay, because part of me is a health and fitness coach, but a lot of me is also a really social person who likes to be out and eating food and drinking. So drinking became a part of my brand, right? I love to laugh, and I love dry, crude senses of humors. So that became a part of my brand. And so I just want you to think about where are you spending your time and energy? Who are you following, and why are you following them? What is interesting about them to you? What are you searching on the internet? What could you spend hours doing, where time just flies by? Those are the things that make you you. So find your 5, and they can be big things. They can be, you're a mom, you're a wife, you're a dog mom, you know, whatever. And they can be small things like you have a crazy obsession with peanut butter or popcorn or pizza, or like when my hair was all different colors, unicorns became a part of my brand. And so your brand will evolve and change, and fitness is a part of it. But if you're only talking about Beachbody stuff, if you're only talking about this one dimension, then you're pretty boring, honestly. You're not really appealing to anybody that is like, if you're only talking about Beachbody and fitness and shakes and stuff, then you're really only reaching somebody who is in the market at that current time to purchase a fitness program or a shake. And so you want to think about all the other things so that you are providing value and you're interesting to them outside of the fitness piece. And then when they're ready, they'll join you. But at the end of the day, if you're really being a billboard for Beachbody, you're doing a great job of selling Beachbody. But they can get Beachbody anywhere. They can Google it. They can go to beachbody.com. My first Beachbody program I ordered on eBay. I think it was a burned copy, it came from China or something. It definitely wasn't a legit one. So they can get Beachbody anywhere, but the only place they can get you is you on your page, right? So how are you going to post? I want you to become a student of Selfie School. So I know that this sounds really simple and stupid, but I really think like taking selfies, it's not hard, but it is a little bit of an art. There are ways to take better selfies than worse ones. And so here's a few tips on how to take a good selfie. Well, just have good images in general. So get ready once in a while. I think it's tempting to be like, I want to show people real life, and my real life is I'm a hot mess, and I'm in workout clothes all the time or whatever. And of course, if you work outside of the home, you are getting ready, but a lot of us are, stay-at-home moms, or they do Beachbody full time or whatever. And it's very tempting to be look like a disheveled mess all the time and be in your workout clothes. And I think that's important to show that, but really you're selling a lifestyle. You want to present a life to people that they want to live, that they want to be a part of. And so if it always is just like chaos and mess, that's not like super attractive. And people aren't like, ooh, I want to be a part of that. I want my messy life that I'm living now, I want to have that messy life. No, they're already living in their messy life. So in their hot mess chaos of a world. So, be put together once in a while, wear your hair down, put makeup on, whatever. I think the most important thing is to make sure that all of your photos are light, bright, and eye-catching. Now, they don't have to be like super bright and like, I use a lot of pink, so I like saturate a lot of my photos, but you want to have a very strong visual brand. So some examples that I know, Amy Silverman has a really strong visual brand. Hers is like kind of dark and moody, very earthy feeling vibe. If you go to her Instagram, you'll pick up on it right away. Angie Belmar is another coach who has a very strong visual brand. She's very like colorful and bright and playful kind of brand. There's quite a few people now who are buying, there's an app called Lightroom, and there's something called Lightroom presets, where it's a preset filter that you can purchase. You can create your own too, and then just save it. But you can I just bought like 6 different ones on Etsy because they were like $5 each or something, to kind of figure out what I like and play around with it. But so they don't have to look like mine, like super pixelated or saturated, but they do need to be light, bright, and eye-catching, which means you want to try to use natural lighting as much as possible. Get to a window, get outside, definitely be taking your food to a window. But it is amazing how many people came up to me at Summit, and I'm sure you guys have done this too, but can I take a picture with you? And they have no idea of where the lighting is. So they'll, like if you guys can see right now, I'm facing where the window is. I don't know how much you can see me, you're seeing the screen, but I'm always gonna try to face where the light is shining on me rather than filming. Like I'm not gonna take a selfie with the light behind me, So there's so many people came up and they were like, let's do a selfie. And I would have to like turn them like, no, this is where the light is. So something as simple as just finding the best light and getting next to a window. And then when I say here, edit according to your personal brand, I used to use an app called Snapseed, and I still do sometimes. And I had the same formulation that I did. So I always knew, you know, I would take a photo, I put it in there, and I'm gonna lighten it. I'm gonna up the exposure. I'm gonna go in with my brush, and I'm going to highlight certain areas, and I'm gonna saturate certain areas. And and then I always use, like, if I was going to use one on Instagram, I used Clarendon, and I would use just like 20% Clarendon or something like that. So I had a very like similar editing structure, and now with the Lightroom preset, it just makes things pretty simple. So you can do that. Something very small but pretty major is look into the actual camera. When you're taking a selfie, it's very tempting to look at yourself in the phone, but I want you guys to look into the lens of the camera, because then when people are scrolling, it's like you're making eye contact with them. So yep, I already said get outside, play around with angles, timers, and portrait mode. I'm going to show you a couple examples of these on the next page. But every time you post something, I want you to ask yourself, would this stop a scroll? Because people's thumbs are moving so fast on their phone, scrolling as, you know, boom, boom, boom. Oh, that's interesting. So they slow the scroll down, right? So is this scroll stopping? Will it stop a scroll? Is it attractive? And something that is attractive to somebody else might not be attractive to me, but that's cool. Like, you have your own visual brand, and if it's attractive to you, post it. Because that means all you're trying to do is find more views out there. And if it's something that would stop your scroll, and I'm not talking about the caption right now, we're just thinking about pictures. Because you could have the best caption in the world, but if your picture doesn't stop the scroll, they're never going to read it. So I'm just talking about pictures. Would that image stop your scroll? Is it fun, inviting? Is it presenting a lifestyle, right? Your social media is your magazine. So you want to make it look pretty. So here are the examples I was talking to you about different ways that you can take selfies that aren't just your standard posing, smiling into the photo, or your whatever. Because the same sweaty post-workout bathroom, bedroom selfie is just not interesting. It's boring, it's redundant, and it's a very one-dimensional, like the Ashley show. Oh, got my workout in today, check. Like, get creative, because on a part of having the visual brand and editing with a similar filter is you want it to be appealing to the eyes, especially because Instagram now is becoming so huge. I mean, my business last year at this time, I was 80% Facebook, 20% Instagram. Now I'm probably 90% Instagram, 10% Facebook. And so it's huge. People go to your profile and they're going to look at that last 9 photos and be like, and immediately make a decision. Do I want to follow this person or not? So you want to have a good variety. So here's some examples. And if you were in the last Diamond Dash, you've seen this slide before, but this is Lori, indoor by a window. So it's indoor, but she went by a window. That's very light, bright, eye-catching. And you can see the coloring is different in all of them, but they're all light, bright, and eye-catching. This is Letty. Letty put it on a timer, dropped down, played around with angle, and also she's using a Energize prop. So that's also creating curiosity marketing, which is another thing there. If you are going to be if you have a dark house, like actually I'm really struggling. So my house in Arizona is very bright and light. The kitchen is white, the floor is light. And so it's really great because it's, you know, very open and bright in there. And now we're in this condo and it's much darker. We have gray walls, we have a dark kitchen, we have dark flooring. So Emily here took this picture at night, but she has something called a Diva Ring. Or there's a knockoff that's much cheaper than Diva Ring. If you type in Diva Ring on Amazon, it's called like Newer, N-E-W-E-E-R, I think is what it is, something like that. But it's like $100 for the ring light, and it's a game changer. So, and actually, if you're on my team, when you get to Diamond, that is the gift that I give you. So I don't know, Emily does the same thing. I don't know about the others, but it's an investment. It's a write-off. Get it. It's important. But that's Emily did a timer here with a ring light. Tanya asked somebody to take a picture of her on portrait mode. So you can see portrait mode makes the subject really stand out. So she's in focus. The background is blurred. If you don't have an iPhone and you don't have portrait mode, you can download. There's tons of different apps that have it, that you can blur the background. So Facetune is an app that I sometimes use to blur the background. You can actually do it in Snapseed. There's probably a ton more, but that makes the subject really pop and stand out. Use objects. to kind of break things up. So babies are great, dogs are great, drinks, food, whatever makes sense for your brand. There's a couple things I know, like graphic tees are kind of fun. Mugs now, I feel like mugs are kind of all the rage of like funny little sayings on mugs. So that's a great thing. But whatever makes sense for your brands, to just break it up. And I did this picture of me and Rev. It was on a timer. I had it on my stand with the ring light, facing a window, and of course using Rev as my prop. This is Autumn putting up a timer. This was when her and her husband went to the Success Club trip in Mexico last year. But that is a lifestyle photo. Like, how fun does that look? That's a life. I want to be in that water with her. Like, she's looking like she's having a party. I want to live that life, right? Again, selling a lifestyle. And then this is Jamie, another way to just play around with angles. It's still Jamie. Jamie's still in there, but it's just a different way for the eye to see it. Okay. So how do you, now that you have great photos, now that you have great photos and you've got an eye-catching scroll, or an eye-catching image that's going to stop the scroll, what are you going to caption it with? So here's a few ideas, because I want you guys to, everyone wants, like, you know, higher, like, I want more likes, I want more numbers, like more Success Club points, I want more engagements, comments, things like that. But I think we're focusing in the wrong way. I think we have to focus, for our social media, you need to focus on creating fans and not just followers. And there is a difference. So creating fans means you are going to be the main subject. So there are some kids, some pets, but mostly you. Like, if your social media is a movie, you're the starring actor or actress, right? I think most of you are actresses, but there's some few actors on here. So you are the starring actor or actress. You've got supporting characters and supporting cast, but you're the main subject. And then I want you to have an opinion, evoke conversations. I want you guys to own your truth. And what I mean by that is, you don't have to be like super controversial about things, but even things like I always give the example of, so Roca is a pit lab mix, and pit bulls have a bad reputation for being like this vicious breed. And I want to be an advocate for pit bulls now. Like, we will never own another dog that isn't at least part pit, because she is the best dog we've ever owned. She is the best. And so I talk about like pit bulls. I talked about adopt, don't shop, you know, and I'm all about animals. And then if somebody is like, well, my kid was attacked by a pit bull and that's really unsafe, I either block them or I'll engage with a dialogue. But it just depends on whether it's constructive or not, or, you know, but that is not like a super popular stance, but it's not one I'm willing to back down on. And there's just little things and then there's big things, but I want you guys to own your truth. I love the color pink. For years, I was afraid of being considered girly if I talked about liking the color pink. Now pink is my brand color. I love it. It makes me feel happy. It makes me feel like buzzing, high on life. And so there are going to be people that are like, oh, this girl is too like bright and whatever for me. And that's cool. So that's a very small truth. And then there's bigger ones, right? I don't get into politics. I don't get into religion. One of my truths is I like the F word. That's definitely going to turn some people off, but that's a part of my truth. So it's okay to have an opinion. It's okay to own your truth. I want you guys to do that. I was just listening to a podcast and they said different is better than better. So you being different is going to be better than you being better than the next person, right? Don't try to come up with the best feed. Just be different. Just be who you are. And if you are who you are, nobody can duplicate it. That sets you apart alone. I want you to let people into your world and personality. Let people really know who you are. Like, if you say the F word, you can use it on social media. You know, if you like to drink, you can put that on social media. If you're very religious and super believe in God, you can put that on social media. Like, those things can all be a part of your brand, and they should. And then I want you to think about adding value. When you're making these captions, What is it that you're trying to come across? I want you to think about, and here's some questions that you can ask yourself, but think about who you are or were at the different stages in your life, right? So who was the old you? And sometimes I'm making a post to the old Ashley about when she was depressed and struggling and living paycheck to paycheck, because I know there's other Ashleys out there that are still struggling, depressed, living paycheck to paycheck, right? So sometimes I post to that person. What are you struggling with? What is your biggest excuse and how will you conquer it? So talking about, like, if you are really busy, like I know Autumn Cheetalk, she's probably one of the busiest people that I know. And she talks about it all the time, how she just makes things work and she makes things happen and she sacrifices in certain areas to show up in others that are more important to her and whatever. So what are you struggling with? What's your biggest excuse? How will you conquer it? Share that with people. What are you hopeful about? I think this one is really great for coaching, when you make coaching related posts and stuff. I remember feeling like when I was working at Nike and I was climbing the corporate ladder, I just remember feeling like almost a lack of hope, because it was just, okay, well, my dream is to climb the corporate ladder until I make six figures. I thought if you made six figures that you made it. And once we made six figures, then I was going to be able to bring John home. John would be a stay-at-home dad and I would be working. That was always the plan. But that was like, I thought I would just have to climb the ladder. Like I was just going to go through the motions. I was just going to continue to check boxes. And then this job, this coaching came into my world and it totally changed things and made it be like, I am hopeful about the future because I can control it. I get to create my future now. And that was something to be really hopeful about before I was making a lot of money, before I was a full-time Beachbody coach. Just the fact that I was dreaming again was a big thing, you know? How did you win today? And it can be something really small or it can be something big, but share that, because the way that you win today is saying, this is, you know, I didn't want to work out today. I had all the excuses in the world and I did it because I know that that's what, like when there's chaos around me, I can take 30 minutes and control what I can control and pour into me. I may not be able to control everything, but I can control this, right? So that's a post of somebody who is sitting in a world full of chaos, feeling like they have no control over their life, and that's going to resonate with them. Like, oh, yeah, working out isn't like an obligation. It's a way that I get to give back to me, right? So it's just connection points that you're trying to create with people. I also, as you know, I want you guys to share your struggles, but you have to spin it to win it. So yes, share your gremlins, shine the light on your gremlins. I think this is probably not a new term for you guys. You know this by now, but share your vulnerabilities, but you just have to spin it to win it. You can't just be like, God, you know, I'm super depressed. I've been so depressed and I don't know what to do. And like, I just feel like I'm drowning in suffering. Okay. That doesn't serve anybody. And it definitely doesn't serve you. So what I would say to do instead is like, I've been feeling in a funk lately. I don't know what's going on. I just can't shake it. But I decided I'm in control of this. And today, even though I didn't want to, I got out of bed and I push play on my workout. And I didn't want to, and it still didn't feel that great after. And then I listened to personal development, and it still is hard. And you know, I'm going to bed feeling much better than I did when I woke up, and I'm still struggling, but at least I know I have my own back, right? So that's a way to spin it to win it. So you can be transparent, you can be vulnerable, but you do still need to be positive, because again, everybody that's watching you has their own BS that they're dealing with. And if you're just sharing your BS, that's not something they want to be a part of. They're not like, ooh, let me also take on your world because you have better BS than mine. Like, it's just, that doesn't work. But when you're posting, I love this analogy. So when you're focusing on creating followers and not fans, what you're doing is it's like you've invited people over to dinner. All the people that know you and love you, and they've come to your house and they're sitting around the table and you've served them the food. It's warm. They can't wait to eat. They're just waiting for you, the host, to sit down. And instead of sitting down with the people that love you and are showing up for you, you're out running up and down the street, banging pots and pans, waving dish towels, screaming to get more people to come to your party. But if you just served the people at your own dinner table, your party's going to naturally grow. People are going to talk about how great of a party you threw and how awesome your food was and how funny you are and, you know, how great your furnishing is and all of the stuff. They're going to word of mouth share it. It's going to get Like, your parties are going to grow if you focus on serving the people at your table. All right, so here's a few ideas on captions. Short and sweet one-liners, something like diamonds were a girl's best friend and then yoga pants happened. And this could be a picture of you, a selfie, in yoga pants, maybe with a glass of wine in your hand watching The Bachelor, right? I don't know what you're into, but that's what that could be. Just short and sweet, funny little one-liners. I put one up today that said, it was a picture of me, Roki, and Rev, and it said, Mama Bear is a really sweet way of saying, if you hurt my child, I will cut you open and eat your insides, or something like that, right? So I didn't really go much more into that, but there's a little bit of a humor, short and sweet one-liner. Negative wording, something like, I never thought I would feel comfortable in my own skin. And this is a great one for a picture of you playing with your kids wearing shorts for the first time this summer. Maybe a tank top, maybe a swimsuit, right? What is it that you can put a picture up of sharing how you're now feeling comfortable in your skin in a way that you haven't done before? Ask a question like, have you ever felt like you had no control over your life? And again, this is a great coaching one. So maybe it's a picture of you sitting at your computer, a selfie of you, or your office or something. And then you tell a story. Have you ever felt like you had no control over your life? I know back when I was climbing the corporate ladder, I felt like I was going through the motions. I felt like I was just going to be climbing and kissing asses until I was retired, for the next 50 years or whatever, 30 years, whatever. I don't know how long you work. And now I feel like I am in control of every day. I feel like I am in control of my future and whatever, right? So that's another way. Ask a question and start with that. Use emotional power words, like, I was destroying my body until I discovered my secret. And for me, that would be a picture of me out on date night, John having a beer, me having tacos, margarita, and, whatever. And I could say I was destroying my body until I discovered my secret. And my secret was, it was never my body that was the problem. It was always my mind. And once I learned that food isn't my enemy and I don't have to be afraid of it, I can have date night with my husband and not feel guilty after. And then the next meal have a salad, right? That's a story. So you're connected. Again, I hope that this is making sense, that you're wanting to make connection points with your followers about you. Talk in numbers, like 21 days ago, I was not the same girl. 21 days ago, and it's a transformation photo. And you talk about your physical journey. 21 days ago, I made a habit like Ali Griffith. I guess today's day 9. It had been 8 days ago yesterday, so today's day 9 of doing the miracle morning. So she could say, 9 days ago, I was not a morning person. 9 days ago, you couldn't catch me awake before, out of bed before 8 a.m. Today, I'm up at 5 and I feel better than I ever have, right? So whatever your story is. But I really want you guys to focus on not selling Beachbody, not selling fitness programs and shake, and really focus on selling people your lifestyle, something that they want to be a part of. A business thinks that they always have the right to sell, right? So Beachbody is always selling to us coaches because they can. Beachbody is a business. They can sell to us. They can market nonstop about coach run tests or super trainer run test groups or new programs coming out or the new promotion, beach bars are on sale. They can sell to us coaches all day long. They're a business. They have the right to. But if you think about like social media influencers, that's an actual job now. And the reason it's a job is because what happens is people start following people and businesses have caught on to say, oh, this person has a ton of followers. If I put my product in their hands and they tell their followers about it, their followers trust them. They're going to buy this product, win-win, right? So we are basically social media influencers for Beachbody. So we're not just Beachbody, but we are a brand putting a face to that name, and we're gonna talk about Beachbody. We're gonna talk about how we have boot camps and groups and virtual gyms and superfood shakes we can plug them into. We're gonna talk about that, but we're also gonna talk about all the other things, and we're gonna provide an insane amount of value because we have to earn the right to sell. You have to earn the right to invite somebody to join your group. You can't just be selling. Nobody's interested in that. You are a brand, not a business. We are not here to sell fitness programs and shakes. People think that our job is to sell fitness programs and shakes or to make everybody use and love Beachbody, but that's not our job. Our job truly, I think, and this is my opinion, our job is to become our best selves. Our job is to find our solution. And I'm guessing because you're here, Beachbody is your solution. For me, Beachbody was my solution. So my job is to find my solution, become my best self, light myself up from within, and shine that light outward for other people to see. For other people who are out there waiting in the darkness and who are looking for their solution, they're looking for my light. And I'm going to tell everybody about Beachbody. That's my job. I'm going to tell everybody about the solution that I found, what works for me. I'm going to tell them about it. I'm not going to sell to everybody. I'm going to tell them. And I'm going to let them make the choice. Do I want to try this? And some people are going to say, no, I'm not interested in Beachbody. I get messages all the time from people like, I'm not really into this Beachbody thing, but you inspire me so much, I'm starting my own business. Winning, I am winning. Right? I'm not here to sell Beachbody. I'm here to help people live their best lives. For me, Beachbody has allowed me to live my best life. It's a system I can plug people into and maybe it will help them live their best life. Not guaranteed. So then what happens is somebody says, yeah, I'm interested. I want to try it. And then they decide it's not for them. They cancel, they go inactive. Fine. Because my job isn't to make everybody use and love Beachbody. My job is to tell everybody about it because it was my solution. And maybe it's not their solution, but maybe it leads them to finding their solution, right? So just think about yourself as a lighthouse and shine your light. And at the end of it all, remember, we get one life and we're in charge of designing it how we want it to go. And we spend so much time caring what other people will think. We care so much about other people's opinions that we don't send them the message. We don't invite them. We don't start the conversation. We don't make the post. We don't talk about how we have a challenge group. We don't do all these things because we're afraid of what people will think of us. But the opinions that you're caring about are the opinions of people who don't matter. Shit. Hold on. Mail here. Sorry, guys. But we care so much about the opinions of people who don't matter. You care about your coworker's opinion. A coworker doesn't pay your bills. You care about, your mother-in-law's friend, but your mother-in-law's friend doesn't pay your bills. You care about somebody that goes to church with you. Those opinions don't pay your bills, you guys. You know the opinions you should be caring about? The opinions of the people whose lives are going to be changed by you not listening to the other opinions, by you not letting fear get in your way. The opinions I care about my family. I care about what John thinks, what Revi thinks, what Roka thinks, right? I care about them, which means I care enough about them to build a different future for them. I care enough about them that I'm not focusing on selling things. I am going to be my best. I care about being my best self. I care about working hard on me to be the best version of me, so that's what they get. And I also care about my chosen family. I care about you guys. I care about my coaches. I care about them because I know them and I love them. And my reputation is important. And I care about their opinions. But I don't care anymore about the opinions of people who don't matter to me. And I want you to think about 5 years from now when you are a millionaire. Because I'm telling you right now, a girl who was broke, living paycheck to paycheck, living in a body she hated, was suicidal, did not believe in her ability to inspire anybody. Me, this girl, checking boxes, going through the motions, I will be a millionaire, if not this year, next year. I'll hit the million club this year, I'm pretty sure. Right? And if I can do this, because the Ashley that you see speaking to you today is not who I was when I found this business. There's been a lot of growth and change in these 5 years. If you do this, you can do that too, and maybe your goal isn't to be a millionaire, fine. But whatever your goal is, you won't reach it if you care so much about other people's opinions. So let's stop focusing so much on Beachbody. Let's start focusing really on selling ourselves, selling us as the brand, selling who we are, and making sure that we're doing those hard things so that we do create a life for the people who we actually really do care about. Because everyone on my team, it wouldn't be here if I let those fears and the opinions of other people get to me, right? My family wouldn't be the family it is, or living the life that they're living, that we are living, if I would have held myself back. So that's all that I have for this. I'm going to stop recording.